Welcome to my show. I'm a guest here. Her name is Abena Oppong. Mrs. Abena, how are you doing, ma'am?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Mrs. Abena. And also, thank you so much for the time and the opportunity. Firstly, you are a principal illness navigator. Can you please, Mrs. Abena, discuss more about yourself and how you're doing currently now, Mrs. Abena?
I am doing great. I am, as you mentioned, principal illness navigator, also known as a patient advocate. I have done various positions in my role of services. I think my background has been a lot of working and standing up for people going through illnesses, either leadership or direct support. And so currently, as a principal illness navigator, it's when somebody encounter critical illness. What does that mean? Somebody going through cancer, have failure, kidney failure, things like that, life-threatening illnesses. And sometimes it becomes overwhelming, right? So they need somebody like me to help them navigate through what they're going through, what it all means for them, right? And also to put humanity back into care, right? Because sometimes we will be in that world of, oh my God, I gotta go see a therapist. What does this mean? What the terms they're using? All these confusing things. So it's my job to kind of help them through all of that and bring family involved and bring loved one involved and help them through that journey.
Very much beautiful. As a principal illness, you actually made a very profound explanation in regards to helping people to actually heal in terms of very huge illness and also bring families together to also navigate issues that can also be got resolved in terms of every other areas in our life as well. And also in regards to the experience you've had, Mrs. Abena, have you written any book or are you planning to write any books in the coming future, Mrs. Abena?
Some books are in works, in the future, but right now, my journey as a principal illness, also consultant, it goes hand in hand because you consult with people, you cater to the needs of people. You don't really, wear one hat. So my goal is to be intentional in the book writing process, so that people can actually identify and help the community, as in, oh my God, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, what do I do? Right. And maybe have some tips in the book. So it's going to come in the future, just not right now.
Exactly. As you said, as a consultant, there are a lot of things one have to try to work on. But in the future,
Mhm.
those experience can be gathered into something people can also learn from. And we definitely hope it comes in the coming future as well. And also, I would like to drive to the point of dignity, Mrs. Abena. For
Yes.
listeners walking through serious illness or supporting someone who is, how do you think dignity can be protected when life suddenly feels medicalized, vulnerable, and out of their control, Mrs. Avena?
So a very good question, right? When somebody gets that diagnosis or their loved one get that diagnosis, their world becomes very small, right? They feel like, my world is ending. Everybody really, now nobody really will talk to me, right? They feel isolated and they feel like they've lost their sense of independence. Okay. They also feel, overwhelmed by the whole thing. And am I going to die? I think that's the first question that comes to their mind, right? So dignity will be the last thing that they will be thinking about, right? Because right now, depending on what part of the body is being in that process, your body becomes a lab table because now everybody, all these testing and invasion of your privacy also takes away that little dignity that you may have, the sense of self. So it is important as a advocate or a navigator or somebody who is even being, being there for their loved one, to identify that these emotions, we can help them to identify that they are valued, they are somebody, right? You bring the humanity into that healthcare room, because doctors, I mean, doctors, no fault of their own, they want to go straight to the point and talk about whatever the tumor is, right? They don't have time to kind of be like, hey, how you doing? No, they don't really have that time, right? So they want to go straight to the point, not regard that's regarding how you're feeling. So for you as a supporter or a navigator, it's important for you to make sure you take a step back and say, hey doctor, I know you want to talk about this. What does this mean? Break it down in simpler terms so that they can understand what's going on. Hey, how would that make you feel, if you're going through these symptoms? So helping them for helping the patient to be that voice in your room, right? They are the author of that life, whatever that is, right? Especially when somebody has cancer, sometimes they will mention all these big words. Half of them you don't even know what that means. You be sitting there like, huh? What happened? And then, especially in teaching hospitals where there are, many doctors, resident doctors there that are learning, and they'll be talking about you, and it's like you're not even in the room. There goes your dignity, right? They don't even think about honoring you as a person, and not really, talking about you in the room, because that really is disrespectful, really, if you think about it. So making sure that, if they're going to have that discussion, you may say, hey, is there a way that you can step outside for a hot second and discuss whatever it is? Or make sure you're having a conversation with this patient, because it's about them, it's their life. So taking those little simple things, give the honor back to that person, so they too feel they are valued. Hey, this person really cares about me. Look at that. Look at the little, it's not about the big gestures. It's about the little things that you do that brings dignity to the person.
Mrs. Abena, to be honest with you, in our life that we find ourselves, we do not know tomorrow. And in the position
Mm-hmm.
of the medical sector, to be honest, to actually bring out a message is actually 100% uneasy. And to actually bring it down also really matters, because there are some patients, by the time the message comes down, their soul is
Mm-hmm.
gone. And that is where you drive into. They start to think
Mm-hmm.
about a lot of things, and those a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things now get into their head down to the point whereby it affects their body, affects even their development in healing as well. And to
Yeah.
come in and break it down for a patient to understand better, and to also feel
Mm-hmm.
loved, to also feel like he or she is in the position whereby he or she is being cared for, and also being brought down in terms of the details of what is actually wrong, and how hope
Mm-hmm.
is still being felt, and how things can also be done to actually give a solution to the situation as well, is
Yeah.
very much powerful, Mrs. Abena. And Mrs. Abena, I would like to just dive to the point of the patient as well. How do you
Mm-hmm.
think patients can also try their best to hold on to their sense of identity and personhood when so much attention, as we said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
is focused
Mm-hmm.
on diagnosis, treatment plans, and medical procedures? Mrs. Abena.
So it's all about identifying who you are before the diagnosis. You are not the diagnosis. The diagnosis is just a stamping block in your journey in life. So, what I do work on with patients a lot is to not lose focus of who they are. They are a daughter, they are a brother, they are a sister, they are a husband, a wife, a child, whatever it is that they are in a family. They need to make sure that they don't lose that. That family connection is the first key, right? Identifying the independence that you have. There may be days where your muscle is weak, your spirit is willing, but your muscles is weak. That you may not be able to do certain things for yourself, right? You may not be able to get up out of bed by yourself. You may not be able to, use the bathroom by yourself. But trying, every little chance you get to identify your privacy. Okay, so making sure that you are bringing up your voice to say something in the room. So when somebody is talking at you or just come in and don't ask you anything, you're like, hey, are you going to say good morning to me? Are you, you can't just touch me. Stop, don't touch me. Just make sure that, you're asking permission before you do that. So teaching every patient how to stand up for themselves, that actually brings value to who they are. It also, bring the family members along. So indirectly, they become advocate for that person, right? And say, hey, you can't do that to them. No, that's my brother. No, that's my husband. No, that's my wife, right? So helping, it's a whole community that kind of help you feel that dignity and respect that you so deserve while you're going through this journey. The diagnosis is tough. The process is tough. You don't need, additional stress. As we talked about earlier, the more you feel good on the inside, the more you heal faster.
Completely agree. Thank you so much for the insights, Mr. Abena. And that shows the power of we actually feeling energized in the inside. It shows a very huge role in the outside as well. And also the point that
Yep.
you've made in every single areas when it comes to a patient, the family plays a very powerful role, as you said. A family gives
Mhm.
the emotional support, it gives everything to make the patient become more stronger and also energized as well, and also having a say for them as well, despite how tough
Mhm.
it could be. And also, one of the most important thing, apart from family and other areas as well, self-reflection, knowing who
Mhm.
we are. The diagnosis
Mhm.
is just the middleman. It is what comes along the way. Getting to get ourselves a self-reflection and understanding our own perspective as humans plays a very huge
Mhm.
role for us to deal with the situation internally, because healing starts internally. Mrs. Abena, I would also like to drive to the point of, I do know that you are really into the point of counseling and also helping people in regards to the perspective. But from the experience you've had, I would like you to drive to the point of healthcare providers, advocates, and also families as well. How they can also create more environments as well. So, how do you think healthcare providers, advocates, and also families can also create an environment where a person feels seen as a whole human being, not just a case or condition? This is Abena.
That is a very good question. A lot of times, um, we are all human. When we hear something that we don't know, like a diagnosis, we don't even know the details of it, everybody starts panicking, right? That's the first thing as human, that's our reaction. We will start panicking, and then we will forget that there is a human being behind that diagnosis. And then we will, like, everybody is on like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But it the tips that I always give family is that the what you do impacts their ability to overcome this challenge, or their ability to fall short to the race, right? The family plays a very huge role when it comes to a person feeling that dignity and respect during the whole journey. The presence of the family, holding on to, family rituals, as in not rituals as in cults, but rituals as in things that you all used to do as family. self-reflecting, say, hey, remember the time that we did this and did that? And, put that person in that mind frame. If that person did something phenomenal for the family, hey, identify, hey, you remember when Bob, did a great job in doing this. He was the only person that graduated top in his class. He's the only person that did that. Remember, oh my God, you did so great. You know what? I think that there is more left in your tank that you can give to the world. So I need you to focus on getting better. And guess what? Once you're feeling better, we will continue to knock out and do the things that you want to do. Having that, bucket list of things to do as a family, and checking off, maybe having a weekly, activity that you do as a family, and make sure that it focuses on that person. That person becomes the center of attention. And do not bring up whatever it is that they have going on. If they have cancer, don't talk about cancer. How about you talk about everything else but cancer, right? You need to help the person identify the humanity of themselves, who they are. It's important who they are in the family, who they are as a person. If they are teachers, like, hey, remember when he did this and did that in school? He got this award and that award. Or even if he didn't get any award, just saying things that will put that person at ease. Like, oh my God, look, my family actually care about me. Oh, my loved one care about me. I know sometimes in relationships, diagnosis like that can be stressful. And I do a lot of supports and counseling with partners, husbands and wives going through a lot, boyfriend and girlfriend going through a lot of these critical illness, because it becomes more of a caretaker situation more than a partner. And so that is the critical point where it's important that everybody takes a step back and remember that this person is your wife or your husband before any diagnosis. Yes, the body may be different based on whatever is going on, but they're still the same person you met and fell in love with. So going through that memory lane, right? Having date nights, having things you can do together based on, what they can do, right? Don't go, skydiving if you know they can't even do that. So find the simple things that they like to do and enjoy doing that together as partners, as family. Do that, and you will see that the person feels that connection, and that also is a game changer. I know a couple that the wife got diagnosed with terminal cancer, and the person was giving like 3 months, right? Tops of 3 months. And when they came to me, it was a lot. The husband was overwhelmed, the wife was overwhelmed and sad. So it's important that they do a lot of self care. You, as a caretaker, you need a moment to take care of yourself, to reflect on yourself. Because when you are in a good standing, you are able to um, focus on the other person and be of support. Because if you are not in a good space or a good mind frame, you cannot be that support that they need you to be. So you always have to have self-care. You need a me time. It's okay to have a me time. You don't have to be in the person's face 24 hours a day. You don't have to. No. Take some time for yourself. It's okay. Don't feel guilty about that. It's okay to be tiny bit selfish, because if you take care of yourself, and you are in a good space, you are able to honor that loved one. You are able to dignify that person and be of support that they need you to be.
Mrs. Abena, I sincerely appreciate you for bringing out a very profound message and also a source of inspiration as well. Caregiving plays a very huge role. Family plays a very huge role when someone is feeling a very ill diagnosis or also down as well. And that is why I'm always nervous and scared in terms of the isolation we have in our world today. The life that we are in our world today, where there is no care, love, and also embrace as one as well, it makes it more difficult. But despite every single thing that we see around us today, seeing our people also as a family, seeing our loved one or a partner, we have to be the
Mhm.
one that be a source of energy, not a source of a
Yeah.
pain, because we are the one that will have to drive them to feel more emotions. Because as you said earlier, healing starts internally. And for the healing to begin internally, there have to be a wall of support. They have to make the person feel like he or she is being seen and he or she is being cared for despite the
Yeah.
kind of situation he or she has found herself. Because no one knows
Mhm.
tomorrow and no one knows what will happen, to be honest, Mrs. Abena. But this
Yeah.
experience gave us a sense of guidance that despite how it would be, we should be the source of world. Family plays a huge role, and also showing a sense of support play a very powerful role as well. And in our communities as well, we can also try our best as well to do what we know we can to provide
Yeah.
emotional support, because that is one of the most important thing and also the source of healing. Mrs. Abina, there is also a question I normally ask during the end of the show. From our
Mhm.
forefathers, from our ancestors, there are a lot of beautiful things that do exist during our forefathers' time that is missing
Mhm.
in our time today. If there is
Mhm.
anyone or anything you would like to bring back to our time today, Mrs. Abena, what do you think that thing will be, Mrs. Abena?
That thing will be love. Love of humanity, love of family, love of community. Back in the day, you are each other's keeper, right? So one person, you have four children. Your four children is not just yours; it's for the whole community. Everybody can, if they're doing something wrong, everybody can step in and intervene at that time, right? So the love of humanity, which is gone, and that is where I chose the path I chose to kind of help people to connect with each other, right? Connect with one another. So because if you're going through a critical illness and you don't have that community, you will put yourself in an isolation where it will make things a little worse than where you will rather not be. So it's important to connect. Take a step back. I know, you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed. I know you're feeling isolated. Your world is crushing. But take a moment, connect. Right now, there is platform that you can connect across the world. You don't even have to just connect with your immediate community. Your immediate community is great, but you can also hop on the internet and connect with the world around you. Caregivers, I know it's frustrating, it's overwhelming. Connect with one another. And that's what I do as a consultant. I have a blog that I put out every time, and I talk about self care. That love that you have for your family. There is a time where you will connect with other people in your position and share the love and the bond of and the joy of being of support and of service. It's important. That connection builds service. That connection builds love. That connection builds a whole community of like minded and unlike minded, because I can teach somebody something that they may not otherwise know. They too can teach me something that I would otherwise know. So it's important for us all to be connected somehow, regardless of our walk of life, regardless of where we are.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Abena. Regarding, as you said, in regarding our isolation in our world today, love and care and also humility plays a very huge role. And the message you actually brought out is very important. The internet was created for us to come together, for us to actually have some global conversation and also create a sense of healing. It is actually drawing back from the main reason it was created. And that is why we have to continue to push ourselves out, despite our communities that we usually see ourselves. We realize internet came out for us to actually go outside our community, and we should try our best to do that. We should try our best to seek through people, try our best to show emotions, love, comments, and also try to connect with people around the world as well. It plays a very huge role in our internal journey. It helps us internally to heal, showing love, empathy, and care with people around us, whether in the internet or with someone that would say physically, plays a very huge role for the world to also heal, despite the disconnection and the isolation as well. And we do hope that family, caregivers, are constantly increasing and also continue to bring out the sense of quality that we've actually lost drastically in recent years. Mrs. Abena, I also want to use this opportunity to thank you for the time, the opportunity for you to have this profound and insightful conversation. Thank you so much, Mrs. Abena.
Thank you, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
All right, Mrs. Abena. Have a wonderful day, Mrs. Abena. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.